Okay, let's get right into it. As the lead incident responder on this case, I'm here to debrief you. We're cracking open the case file on one of the most significant cyber attacks of 2026. What you're about to see is the real story, a breakdown of how it all went down, how we tracked the attacker, and the hard lessons learned from the digital front lines.
And let me be absolutely clear. This isn't science fiction. It's not some movie plot. This is the reality my team and I had to face head on. In 2026, the entire game changed. And this case, well, this case was proof.
So, where does a story like this even begin? It wasn't with a big explosion, it was more like a whisper. It all started the day the scans began, quietly probing the defenses of multiple Mexican government agencies. The stakes were immediately clear, and they were incredibly high. And here's what's so mind-blowing about this attack. It wasn't some huge state-sponsored team or a massive hacking collective. Nope. Our forensics confirmed it was the work of one single operator whose skills were amplified, maybe 1,000 times over, by artificial intelligence. So how does that even work, right? Well, think of it like this. Instead of one single burglar trying to check every door and window in a city one by one, imagine releasing a swarm of thousands of tiny, intelligent drones that scan every single weak point simultaneously. That's what the AI did. It took an attack that would have taken months and squashed it down into just a few days.
Okay, so we know the who and the what. Now let's get into the how. We're going to deconstruct the kill chain, step by step, just like my team did as we pieced together the digital evidence trail.
The attacker's key weapon? Zero-day vulnerabilities. These things are the ultimate tools in cyber warfare. Why? Because they're called zero-day for a reason. We, the defenders, have exactly 0 days of warning. It's like an intruder knowing about a secret, unmapped tunnel that leads directly into a bank vault. You just can't defend against a threat you don't even know exists.
And this timeline we pieced together, it shows you this wasn't some quick smash and grab. It was a patient, methodical campaign. On day 1, the AI is just knocking on doors. By day 4, the attacker chains together several known vulnerabilities, we call them CVEs, to basically create a skeleton key. On day 7, they get the keys to the whole kingdom. And by day 12, they're walking out the front door with the crown jewels.
Now, for all the technical folks watching, this table is going to look familiar. We use the MIT ATTNCK framework to map out every single move an attacker makes. It's basically their playbook, laid out for us to see. From how they got in to how they stole the data. This helps us understand their tactics, so we can build a much, much better defense for next time. Right, so once the alarm bells are ringing and the breach is confirmed, our job completely changes. We go from being defenders to being detectives. The entire network is now a digital crime scene, and it's our job to find the ghost in the machine. And that really is the million-dollar question for any incident responder, isn't it? How do you catch a ghost? An attacker who uses encryption, anonymous servers, and is designed to leave behind almost no trace. The answer is you follow the tiny digital breadcrumbs they can't help but leave behind. This was our toolkit, and we used every part of it. For instance, by digging into email headers, we found a message that looked internal, but the mail server logs told a totally different story. We took snapshots of live computer memory, what we call memory artifacts, and found malicious code hiding inside processes that looked legit, like svhost.exe. We even reverse engineered the attacker's own malware to figure out how it talked home. Every little piece became crucial evidence for law enforcement.
Look, catching the bad guy is satisfying for sure, but the real mission, the most critical part of our job, is making damn sure this never, ever happens again. So let's talk about how we fought back, and more importantly, how any organization out there can build a defense that can stand up to these modern threats.
This is our 4-step emergency playbook. It's what we drill on, and it's what we live by. First, we use a SIM platform to pull in logs from everywhere and spot the threat needle in a giant haystack of data. Then, our EDR tools act like first responders, getting on scene to contain the breach by isolating infected machines, basically stopping the bleeding. Third, we harden everything. And finally, we recover from clean backups. Detect, contain, harden, recover. That's the mantra. Let's dig into that harden step for a second, specifically microsegmentation. The absolute best way to think about it is like a modern submarine. If one compartment gets breached and starts taking on water, you seal the bulkheads immediately. The water is contained and the rest of the ship is safe. That is exactly what microsegmentation does for a network. It contains the damage so one compromised server doesn't sink the whole operation.
So if you're an IT pro watching this, what's the big takeaway? It's all about being proactive. But if you ask me what the single most important thing on this list is for fighting an AI attacker, it's employing behavioral analytics. You've got to fight fire with fire, right? You have to fight AI with AI. Traditional security looks for things it already knows are bad. Behavioral tools learn what's normal for your network so they can spot a rogue AI just by its strange behavior. This is how you stay off the front page.
All right, let's zoom out, because what this incident really showed us is that the very nature of these attacks has fundamentally changed. The battlefield is now AI-driven, and that means we, the defenders, have to evolve too.
You see, these aren't just job titles on a slide anymore. These are the mission-critical roles. They are the new digital front line. From the SOC analyst who's the eyes on the screen to the threat hunter actively searching for evil, every single one plays a vital part in this ecosystem of defense.
And this really is the bottom line here. Every single part of our modern world, our banks, our hospitals, our infrastructure, it all runs on code. So cybersecurity isn't some niche IT problem anymore. It is literally the defense line for our entire way of life.
So I want to leave you with this one last thought. We've just seen what happens when AI is turned into a weapon. And believe me, this is just the beginning. This conflict is only going to escalate. So the real question is, who's going to step up and build the next generation of AI defenders? Because the war of the future will be fought in code, and it needs you.